Okay, it's recording. Yeah.
Here is what we will be shimming. We will be pulling this pin out of your differential cup. I'm not sure the exact word of that. That pin comes out, and on mine, I actually had 2 shims come stock in here. It only shows one in the illustration. We're going to add one of the ARMA shims to this end, and we're going to add an ARMA shim to this end. And then we will be replacing those 2 gears. And for some reason, the axial kit for this shows all of this assembly, but it only comes with one of these sets of gears. It does not come with 2 sets. I'm going to get a hold of Horizon Hobby today and find out what is going on with that. Sorry for the uncentered. And maybe I'll put something on about that later, but I want to get this video up so you guys can get your differentials shimmed and not have the same issue I had. And then here are your parts. You have the Losi LOS 232029. And again, there I said there's only one set of those smaller differential gears. There's your big ones. There's the shims that come stock. And here is the ARMA set of shims, the ARA 709057. And I use those to adjust the shimming to give it a better bite in the center differential. Okay, somehow I lost the beginning footage of the start of doing the shims on the center differential on my Lasernut. So I have my son's Lasernut on the bench ready to go. I'm just gonna go through a real quick step-by-step on what we're going to be doing with his, and then I'll add that to the other video of actually doing the shims on my Lasernut. So basically, when you get to the center, what we're gonna do, and you can do this without removing any of your zip ties or anything. Disconnect your motor wires. You have 4 screws on this plastic brace right here. You have 1 screw that holds the dust cover for your pinion and your main gear. And then on the bottom, see if I can do this without looking like a total spaz. You have 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one thing to note, be aware of, you have 2 long ones on the plastic and 2 short ones into the aluminum motor mount. You remove those 8 screws, and then as per my video, you'll see that you basically just, oops, sorry about that. Grab this center differential, slide it over a little bit, slide your motor back. It'll just slide down the drive shaft, and then you can just lift your center differential out. I'm going to add this right to your video. Thanks. There are your 4 bottom screws removed. Here are your 4 screws removed on the top to pull out your center differential. And also, I forgot to mention, there's a small screw right here, which when you take that out, you're able to remove that cover to get to your pinion and check your main gear. Now, once your screws are out, simply slide the motor back, take your center differential, and it will slide out, and you just sort of angle your drive lines, or dog bones as they call them. And there's your center differential. Now, as per the schematic in the owner's manual, you are going to pull that pin out of that hole, which will release these two larger shims or washers. Then you're going to add one of the ARMA shims to that stack. Now in the schematic it only shows one washer or shim, but in reality there are two in there on each side. So when you put everything back together, you'll have a total of 3, and then you will replace that pin through there and hold all 3. Okay, so here's the other cover with the pin in and the shims. You can see there. So now all we have to do is take our new gear, place it on there, and we're set. I've already got the gear oil in the box there, ready to go. Everything's put back together. Make sure you don't lose those square washers. I did use these bottom 2 gears down there. Those are from the kit. I don't know why the kit doesn't send you all 4. It's kind of strange. So I'll put this back together and we will put it back in the car. Okay, we are back together. We've got our 4 bolts up top, or screws up top. Engine wires are reconnected. Our dust cover on the pinion is set. And we have our 4 bolts or screws returned to the bottom. Now one thing to note is on these 2 screws, these are shorter than these 2. These go into plastic. These 2 go into metal that hold the motor mount in place. All right, let's throw a battery in it and go try it out.